Good morning, YouTube. Working on another Grand Design Reflection. This one is a 28BH Superlight. Day one, we had went ahead and wired and placed all the solar panels on the roof. We're getting a 1300 watts on the roof, 6 batteries, single Multiplus, 712, and a 150/100 MPPT. And then, of course, as always, 50 amp coaches. I will automate it, and L1 and L2 will be coupled, so everything in the coach will work. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. So it's got to get started with getting the penetration from the roof all the way down to the basement here. So just got to do a little bit of legwork and see where all that's going to come out. So this one is standard frame, not drop Z, and this is the underneath, the before. So preliminary, thinking maybe a couple of batteries in here. The heat duct really kind of messes me up. Over here we'll go with Multiplus MPPT, and then over on that side we'll have hopefully be able to fit 4 batteries in that area. Clean up some of the plumbing, push it back that way a little bit, square the wall off, bring it along the edge, and give them an additional 6 inches on the width, and just kind of get everything cleaned up. And I'm not gonna have to do a terrible amount of wire management or plumbing. May have to tear out and rebuild the steps a little bit, just depends. I gotta take some measurements and kind of figure it out. This is day 2, so getting installing. Alright, so when I was on the roof, I drilled a hole, found where I needed to be, drilled my hole, and then so this is the reflection without the drop Z frame. So on what you normally do on these, a lot of the DIY guys, they'll take the toilet out, peel the wall open on the toilet side, and then it gives you access to a wall to go from the ceiling to run wires from the roof down into the basement. So I measured and I figured out where the wall was. There's a pipe right there, got all that squared away, drilled my hole in the top plate. Then my hole piece was stuck in the hole. So I took a different drill bit out of a different set and went to very carefully try to put the bit in the hole to bring the hole up, the scrap out of the hole. Well, I dropped the bit.
Oh.
And I heard it go all the way down.
Oh, nice.
So
you
now
got lucky.
I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna reach and see if I can find the drill bit up in the wall.
Oh, you didn't get it yet.
I didn't get it.
Oh,
I did get my line down without removing the bathroom wall, but let's see how lucky I get on this. Alright, so it should be right there.
Nice.
Now I got my drill back for my set. It's a good day. I thought I'd just write it off. Business expense.
That's funny.
So yeah, good stuff. Cool. So anyhow, lucky day. Good morning. I think I went from day 2 to day 4. Yep. Anyhow, yesterday was pretty miserable. 14 to 18, 20 mile an hour winds all day long. It rained so much, it's just unbelievable. I have it, my tent tied or strapped to the tree. Got 10 pounds of stuff here. I had my bench set up under the tree. See the mud prints? Me running back and forth making cables up. Day 1 we got the solar on the roof. Day 2 we got the wiring ran. Day 3 I got all of the batteries put in. I'm going to spin you in here and turn the light on. I got 2 here. The orientation of that one is going to change a little bit. That one is static. Those over there, they're in place, wired, everything's good to go there. Redid a little bit of the plumbing, just one hose. It was excessively long. Redid it, and then the wall will come this direction, then square off, and then go against the lip there, and then it'll square into this. This is going to run over that way a little bit. The Multiplus is going to be sitting in that hole. The MPPT is going to be right there. I don't know the orientation yet. I gotta see how much depth I have from the lip, whether it's going to go in like this, I'm going to have to build a bracket, or if it's going to go up top right beside that battery. I'll build some bracing from the ceiling down and see if it'll squeeze in right beside the batteries. The only problem with that is the hole down below doesn't allow me for very much bracing, so that's a concern, but that'll be this afternoon. Well, I don't know. I gotta get this wrapped up first and get this completely in place. All of the switches and connections will be here for the shut-offs and stuff, and then I've got to get into the breaker panel, which is literally right there. Get that one, the shore power pulled out of it, and come over into the Multiplus and do the automation relay, and then go back into it. The automation relay is going to be over here, along with all of the other shut-offs and fuses and stuff. So, but it's shaping up pretty nice. They're going to be pretty happy with the system. The battery on top, I do have to put more bracing in from the roof to keep it from going forwards and back. Even though it's there's so much tension on that strap that it is more than likely not going anywhere. Behind it this way is the furnace. It's butted up against the furnace this way on that corner, the far corner, and then this way I just have to keep it from coming forward and touching the shower drain right up top there. Other than that, we should be wrapped up with this one. I've already got the 712 ran. Shut this off so it's right. I've already got 712 wiring in place. It is in there. As soon as you walk up the stairs, you open the door, and then there's a you know, your panel with all your slide buttons and some light switches and water heater and stuff like that. It'll go in that cabinet along with that panel. So it's come a long way in a few days, and very, very little space. Today's kind of probably going to be an Advil, some muscle relaxer kind of dinner this evening. The joy. Let's get the rest of it put in place. I can imagine that some people would ask, why do you tear the steps out, and you know, how do you build them back, and you know, is it going to be good long term? Those are valid questions. So I just want to give you an example of one of the ones that it's only a 3-step step up to get to the bedroom. It is a, what is this? This is a Grand Design Reflection without the drop Z frame, so there's very little space. And what I've done is took out, there's two middle supports right here. Two middle supports that came up. One went here underneath and one went up here. So I cut those out. Alright, then what I did was up underneath, I put an L iron aluminum and screwed it into the existing subfloor. Then I added a piece of plywood. Then I added brackets on the sides to hold that plywood in place. Then I also put 5 screws through the plywood, through the aluminum into the subfloor of that second step. So even though the brackets aren't there, that second step is solid as a rock. And because I added this piece as a header, this piece is now, anything that's being pushed down right here in the middle is being spread out over the whole length of the board into the side pieces. And I'm probably going to add another small piece right here on both sides. That way so that it won't be just the screws holding it in. So, and yes, I did find that hole, and I will repair it before I stuff everything back in here. So that is how I replaced the structure, so that it's as good or better than when it was before I started working with it. So just wanted to share. Alright, so I showed you guys the hole that I had punched in the AC duct. This is how I repair it. So when I make these repairs, what I do is I pinch it together from a good section all the way back to a good section. I pinch it together, and then I poke a tiny hole, and then I zip tie it, and I zip tie it all together all the way around, and then I put tape around that way so that the hole is enclosed, not running through these channels, because you can never really truly fix this thing without putting a piece inside it. So that's why I like to zip tie it closed first. So, as you can see, yeah, not pretty decent, not too bad. And because everything is scrunched together, there's very little chance that the, actually I'm going to turn you guys up right. Sorry about that. So as you can see, very little chance for air to leak. It should be a very tight seal on that cut that was in there. So, and then should be good for a very long time to come. Tech tip for the day.
We are finalizing this job on the Reflection 28BH, and Mike is doing a walkthrough with the client. And we have actually never videoed this, so I thought it would be fun to kind of include.
Okay, so I'll go back to the overview. So when you were asking me earlier about the, if you're on 30 amps, you do something on here and then it'll make up the difference. So this right here, this little icon right there, you click it. Now you tell it what power you're connected to. So for 30 amps, you don't always want to go all the way to 30.
Okay.
Because you may, if it's a weak breaker that you're on, it may trip that breaker before you reach actually 30.
Oh.
Okay, so go to like 25.
Yeah.
25, there you go, 25, and then you tell it okay. So then it changed to 25. So now if you pull more than 25 on that circuit, it'll invert and make up the difference.
Okay.
So
what if you're running your generator? What do you set it on for that?
What's the watts of the generator?
2900, 3200, I guess.
Okay, Champion propane.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 2900. When they run on propane, it's 2900. When it runs on the other, it's like 35, 32, something like that.
What's a Furman? That makes a difference.
So what you do is, let me get to it here. Okay, so you take 2900 watts, because you know that's what it runs whenever it's on gas, propane. Divide it by the volts, which is 120 volts. So it's 24 amps.
Okay.
So you set it for
20.
like 20.
20. Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
because you don't want to like allow it to run at full.
Yeah.
You know, even if you wanted to run it, let it run at half, like set it at 12.
Okay.
Then you won't burn through the gas.
I got you.
Okay.
You know.
So then this guy goes back to
50.
50.
Yep, because you're on 50, and then tell it okay.
There we go. Okay.
All right. Now if you click the gear wheel, this takes you into another way that you can change the 50 amp to a different number, whatever you want. Cancel. And then if you go right here, this is a drop down. The inverter on means it'll charge and or invert. But you can set it to charger only, inverter only, or you can literally just shut it off from the app.
Oh, wow.
So, meaning, like if you're boondocking somewhere and you really don't need the power, just shut it off. I mean, you already passed the dinner test.
The cooking test.
Yep. So, and then if you hit the three dots at the top of this page, it's a new menu, product info. You go right here to this edit right there, and then you can change the name of your Multiplus.
Oh, okay.
So what's the name of your rig?
Rosita.
You can do
Rosita Solar
Multiplus or something.
Multiplus,
Or
okay.
MP.
Okay.
All right, so, and then we'll go back again, and again. And then on this screen, you hit the three dots, and then you go to settings, and then you go right here to Celsius, set it to Fahrenheit. So there you go with that. Or you can come out here, you can open the door, the little rocker switch in the middle. Right now it's on the up position. You can rock it down one to the middle position, and then that turns it off. Even if the battery switches and the power is on, it'll shut the Multiplus off. If you want the Multiplus to only charge batteries, not invert, then
Don't shake your booty yet.
you can take that rocker switch and take it down. Those are the only things that you can do on the Multiplus is that one little rocker switch. Everything else is done through the app, and there's other things that you can do through the app, which I'll show you that next. So the white fuse is your catastrophic fuse. That means something dead short against the frame or something. Immediately put a fuse back in. Yeah. Okay, the very top one up that feeds your feeds straight into your breaker panel, and it also feeds up to the front. That will power your slides, your lights in the coach, anything that's 12 volt that is in the coach.
Okay.
Any questions? Pretty simple. is this, the bottom switch is a shut off for the coach if you wanted to turn it off. So the only time you wanted to completely shut it down, and you would turn both of those off.
Shut up.
Okay.
Got that?
I got it.
He said we're going to Airbnb. I've heard
Spent
those in the
7
past.
days with us. You know we're not going to an Airbnb.
I mean,
Airbnb.
What's up with all these bees and bugs flying around? Is that a normal thing in Ohio? Well, I'm going to go to the other side. Hold on.
I'll take my stuff out of my pockets.